Good morning. This is day 115 on my adventure on the Pacific Crest Trail, hiking from the Mexican border to the Canadian border. I just got dropped off near Callahan's from David, who I stayed with in Ashland. A huge thank you again, if you're watching this, to Jonah and David and Evan for the hospitality and hosting me. I ended up being there for 6 nights and 5 days, but you really appreciated being able to stay there longer. My shin is feeling probably 80 to 85% better right now, which is great. I was ready and planning to go out yesterday, and I put on my backpack and I went to reach for water, and I kind of had a bit of a panic moment, and I was like, this just isn't going to work. So I think you all saw that in the last video, so I don't need to dive into that much. But I do have my new pack on. It's an Osprey Exos 48, so I gained 44 liters since my last one. But currently walking on the road. The trail, well, this is technically part of the PCT. Callahan's a little bit off trail, but the PCT and this part that I'm in does actually run along this road a little bit. So I got about half a mile to walk on this highway, and then there will be more like normal trail in the forest. So yeah, this should be interesting. There's a lot of little kind of reported potential fire incidents and stuff in the next 100 miles, and then there's a big one near northwest of Crater Lake, which is about 100 trail miles away from where I am. I have a feeling that one could end up being a problem for me by the time I get there. I really hope it's not, but my understanding is it expanded from 350 acres to like 6,000 and now 8,000, so it's growing and not contained. But there are other ones too between here and the next 50 miles and so, and I mean, definitely, it was probably ill-advised to some degree to be heading out now, but I do know somebody who's about half a day ahead of me or so, not even on trail, and I've been messaging him, and he says it's fine where he's actually at. So this is a problem. Like I've heard through Jonah, who I'm staying with, who's trail injured, like she has direct messages into other hikers who are maybe like 50 miles ahead, 100 miles ahead, where they're currently held up and not allowed to walk because of fire. But like that's 2.5 days for me, right? So by the time I get there, it could be worse, but it could also be gone and better. So my role is not skip a single mile or any part of the PCT unless it's officially closed and you're legally not allowed to go. And as of now, I'm legally allowed to go here. So into the abyss I go. Hopefully there won't be any real complications, but there definitely could be. So this should be an interesting stretch. I feel my shin already right now, but hopefully it does. Hopefully that rest really helped and it doesn't go to how it was before. So I'll see you all down the line. Again, I just got dropped off near Callahan's, which were where I left off. I didn't skip a step of the trail. A lot of people, I imagine, actually would get dropped off to where I'm walking, because that's where like the trail in the woods starts, but this is technically part of the PCT, so I'm walking on it. I'll see y'all day 115. To be fully transparent, I've addressed this in videos before, but for those of y'all who are just starting to follow along, I'm not trying to like hide any days or anything. I started April 11th, and I've taken about 29 days off for rehabbing injuries in 3 separate stints. But what I'm trying to track with the days is just my days on trail and in towns, taking zeros. Basically anything that doesn't, like normal resting for a day or two. 3 days I had planned in Mount Shasta. These are all included in my day count. But like days that were not planned that I had to just rehab for injury, I'm just not counting those as days. There's no particular reason except that I just feel like this is more true to kind of measuring my trip. But I started on April 11th, and I'm calling this day 115. So I'm not trying to like hide the fact that I just took 5 days to rehab, but that's very different than taking like planned zeros in Shasta or a 0 in Big Bear, because like I just need to rest. Like I literally couldn't walk these, until because of this injury, so I had to rest. So anyways, day 115, I'll see you down the line. A few other things. It feels really good to be back out here. It felt so good to rest in a nice, comfortable, welcoming home for many days. And I didn't really feel like I was antsy from a timing standpoint because of Canada and the winter. But otherwise, like, I was so happy to be taking a little time to rest. But as of like kind of last night, because yesterday I was planning to get out, I was like, okay, I was actually excited to get back on trail. And I'm happy to be out here again, just worried about my shin because I feel it. But that aside, good to be back out here. And then point two, I spent a lot of time at the gear store, Mountain Provisions, and when I got in town last Thursday, that's where I kind of first went. It was really crowded, and there's a logbook there, and I looked at it. Lots of hikers, Nobo and Sobo. When I was in there yesterday, one of the employees said it had been, it was slowing down. I looked at the logbook. There's still a few Nobos like me, but not many. So, like, the bubble is 2.5 weeks ahead of me now. But like any poor sap still trying to do this the way I am, like, it's like last of the Mohicans out here. Like, there can't be many back here with me at this point. I did meet a few people in the gear shop, and they're like probably people half day ahead of me, but that aside, like, that's kind of it. So that I know of. I'm sure there'll be some other stragglers, but I've got my work cut out for me, folks. Hopefully I stay healthy. So put out some good intentions or prayers or thoughts or whatever your MO is in that department, please, that I stay at least operable and out of debilitating pain, because I'm going to try to ease into it today in the next few days. But after that, I got to be hitting almost close to 30 miles a day without really any breaks. So I have quite the task ahead of me. It's not impossible yet, but it's I think the odds are very much stacked against me on paper. Now, I still deep down have just a sense of knowing I'm going to make it, but on paper, it does not look good. Well, I'm almost done with this road walk, the part of the actual PCT that just follows this highway. There's no cars going by the whole time, and I was thinking about that, so I turned around and looked, and there is someone way back there hiking in my direction, which is a really nice welcome sign, especially after what I just said. So maybe I'll have a new friend here shortly. But I'm gonna flip the camera here. You can see the sign there for the PCT. Again, I'm on the PCT. This is just where like a footpath resumes. So I'm feeling my shin in every step, but it's not crazy pain. The doctor's orders, Dr. Morgan or Blaze, who sees a lot of patients on trail, the first time I had this, I still have her write-up, says a 3 out of 10 pain is okay to keep walking, to start walking again on. You don't want it to be where you're limping. I'm kind of right around that level. Like I'm definitely adjusting my walk a little bit, but nothing too crazy. So hopefully it warms up and just keeps healing as I'm going. It doesn't get worse. All right. It's about 9 a.m. by the way. So got a full day ahead of me. Well, I've got the new pack, so I'm still getting kind of used to it and adjustments with it. Got the new shoes. I look like a totally different hiker. New shirt from a couple weeks ago, but I almost look like a day hiker, a fresh hiker, not somebody who's put in 1,700 miles. So, but yeah, the pack feels good overall. Definitely gonna take a while for me to get used to it. It's just got a different feel than the Talon that I had, but it was the right call. Like, not having access to water while I'm walking, it just doesn't work. So it smells really nice right now. I don't know what it is. Wow, it smells like a spa or something, like flowers. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So my pack's pretty heavy. I didn't weigh it. Kind of forgot about that. I probably could have, but this one is tested like it's I think 25 to 30 pounds or so. Maybe 35, but I think 30 is kind of what's it's kind of built for. It is about 0.7 pounds lighter, the pack itself lighter than the one I had before, and the one I had before could hold heavier loads, so which is kind of why I liked it. But again, the water access, most kind of important feature really, so for me. So yeah, it's pretty heavy right now. I think I'm kind of pushing the limits on it. I think I've got like a 3.5 or 4 day food carry, and yeah, definitely I got over 2 liters of water right now because I got a 10-mile water carry. So it's certainly feel it. Plus with the new shoes, it's definitely just, and being off for 5.5 days, it's definitely a weird sensation right now in a lot of ways. Things just feel different. Well, a Sobo hiker just passed through, so we didn't stop and talk, but I mean, that means they're definitely able to walk because the fires and stuff, at least, you know, probably a day ahead now, which is my understanding. So that's a good sign. About 1.5 miles in, I'm guessing my pack weight somewhere between 34 and 39 pounds would be my guess. It's definitely heavy. I'm sweating, trying not to go too hard right now, just giving everything, but definitely feeling it. How's the new pack look on me? I like the gray and orange. A huge thank you again to Mountain Provisions for helping me out, because they really had nothing to gain in doing this. They gave me a piece of their inventory and then it will be replenished in like a week. So very much appreciated. And to Osprey for great customer service and helping me figure out a plan in a matter of minutes and then executed in a matter of hours for something that's fairly complicated. So much appreciated. And another big thank you to Jonah and David for letting me stay another day and use their car and cook their food and everything. Just all of these components combined, I wouldn't be feeling the slight bout of optimism that I'm feeling right now with this pack on and these new shoes and having rested for 5 days. So just very grateful for the time spent at their amazing house and for the care shown by the other groups mentioned to kind of make this all happen. Well, it's not surprising, but I think this pack's distributing the weight a bit differently. I'm feeling different muscles having to pick up that load that haven't been conditioned the way my old pack had. So feeling a little more sore already and fatigued than I should be. This pack model is definitely a little bit more ultralight focused, which means it's 0.7 pounds lighter than the pack I had, but it also means you can't hold as much weight as well. And I can feel it for a 4-day food carry, 10-mile water carry. My last pack would have been holding this weight a lot better. Like, it just feels a little unstable and really heavy. The frame in the last pack was solid, but I can't be stopping every time I need water to take my pack off. So I don't know why they would remove that feature. I think I said this, but it was on the website. I actually looked. It was so important to me. I looked before I ordered the replacement one, and it said that it was there. So I think they're going to update that now. But anyways, yeah, I just made the best of the circumstances, and I'm very grateful for having this pack. But I just wanted to point out, I do notice the differences immediately. I'm probably pushing the weight limit on this at the moment, and I feel it. Oh, and my next resupply planned stop is Mazama, which is like a store or lodge or something in Crater Lake National Park, which I've been to before. Really excited to go back. I really hope the fire that's close by gets contained. But that should take me, I don't know, 4 to 6 days. I had 4 days planned, like 3.5 days, where I do like 30 to 33 miles a day, but just with my shin and everything right now, I can't be doing that. So probably closer to like 5 days or something, 4 or 5 days. Could be up to 6, but I have food for like 5 basically. I mean, it's a 4-day carry, but I that's a 4-day of comfortable eating. Like, I could stretch it to 5 at least. So we'll see, but that's about 100 miles or so, a little over 100 miles, I think, trail miles. So that's the plan. That was smoke yesterday on my last rehab day that I was mentioning when I was driving back. So it was just pretty covered and unexposed for a while, which was really nice. Like, I still have my hat off. I haven't taken my hair out of the ponytail or anything, or the man bun, whatever you call it. And this is the first kind of part in the 2 miles that opened up. It was really nice being in the shade, but it was very beautiful site, which I don't know if this, yeah, I think I might have a view on it just when I pass this road here, but kind of behind these trees up here, it's a really cool ridge line, or I should really learn the right terms for some of this stuff. I think ridge line is what it would be called. Yeah, I might have to do a little swap soon, get my hat on, sunblock on my nose and chin, and take this headband off that I was just using to grab the sweat. There it is. And I need to be careful how much I do this because it's hurting my shin. The poles definitely help mitigate the pain in my shin, but pretty cool. Something that's kind of wild is, you know, I've been dealing in and out with plantar fasciitis for a while now, and that's mostly been manageable, unlike some of these other injuries, but it's very uncomfortable still. And it seems like, and it's not just this last round of rehab and rest, but it's like almost like when I stop walking for a day or two is when it really starts to be sore and hurting even more. It's like I've been feeling it this whole time I've been walking. I feel it, I get it the worst where like the plantar fascia connects to the heel. So like when I was walking around town and stuff like that yesterday, I did that. And I got a massage and tried to self-massage too. Like it hurt the most, like under at the heel. So these shoes, like I just feel it in every step, and they feel good so far. Like they're gonna help mitigate that pain, but I still feel it. So, and then of course it's got the right shin. We'll see how that holds up. But yeah, definitely this pack is feeling different. Like I feel it in my glutes a lot, not pain, just like sore, like almost like you're doing like a workout at the gym with weights. So like the way this is sitting on my hip belt, on my hip, through the hip belt and elsewhere, is definitely tapping into slightly different kind of part of muscles than my old pack. And I've been off for 5.5 days, so I'm sure there's part of that too. But I'm only like a little over 2 miles in, and I am like, I don't ever remember feeling this sore early on like this in a while. But it's not pain. I got to be very clear with that. The right shin is a light pain, but everything else, I mean, the plantar fascia too, a little bit. But like it's everything else I'm describing just from the pack, like the glutes and legs and stuff, is just like a general soreness just from like getting a workout in. That's the good kind, the kind that I like. It's been nice and covered for the majority of this 3 miles so far. And you can tell by how this little clip started. I've been doing some elevation gain. I did look on the macro. I was talking to my friend Kyle, a renowned physical therapist and one of my best friends, who was like, hey, how much elevation gain do you have in the next 50 to 100 miles, as we were trying to decide when it was okay for me to try to get back out there with my shin. And so I did look at the elevation profile for that, which is fairly moderate. I mean, there's like, I don't know, maybe 15,000 feet in a gain and descent over that span, which is really moderate relative to the rest of the trail, but still real. You know, it's not flat, but I didn't look at the micro elevation gain for this today. And sometimes it's better just not knowing, but so far it's been a good amount of climb. I'm like, little like 3 3/4 miles in or so, and I just stopped to do a swap here with what I got going on up here. And I took the backpack off, and I just noticed as I took it off, it was just so much more comfortable coming off than my other one. So my very initial impression here is I think I'm gonna end up liking this one more than even the one I had before, but there are definitely some growing pains with it. Here's a better view of that. Some massive cow poop. I just talked to 2 Sobo hikers and they warned me about that cow poop. And I was like, what about the fires? They said, there was fine. There was just a few little ones, but they didn't impact the trail at all, kind of around, which is kind of what I gathered from looking at the map, but like you never really know in real time, and you hear different stuff. So I'm gonna keep getting data points from people I pass, and obviously things could have changed since they've been passed there, but they presumably would have been by these in the last couple days. So I think that's encouraging. My sense is it won't be too much of an issue until I get closer to Crater Lake, but I don't know. I'm gonna just keep asking as people pass, but it's definitely better than hearing the alternative from them for sure. But cow poop, gotta watch out. That was quite a big pile. What on earth is that? What the heck is that thing? I think those are two distinct things. One's on top of the other. Oh, sorry. It's pretty big for an insect. What the heck is going on? The thing underneath it. What am I seeing? Oh, it dropped it. Yeah, okay. It's like a giant wasp or something. It sees me. Oh, it's freaking out. The alarm's going off because I stopped to do my exercises for my shin, like I was doing at rehab every 2 hours or so. It was what I was supposed to be doing. Yeah, this thing wants me gone. Oh my god, it's like, look at me. I think that was like a dead other insect that it grabbed, and it was like somehow carrying, and now it sees me seeing it, so it stopped. All right, I'm gonna get out of here and move up trail a little bit. And that is a creepy looking insect, like for real. The way it's moving around looks like some kind of AI robot or something. Yeah, that is a very disturbing way it moves. It's like some robotic dog or something. All right, I'm gonna move up trail a little bit and finish my exercises so this thing doesn't like plant a 2-inch stinger in me. Well, I've already climbed over 1,300 feet, according to my Garmin. Beautiful view to come out to. Looks like, and imagine that's smoke out there and not just cloudy. Yo, check this out. I don't know what those are. Instinctively, I want to say turkeys, but they kind of look a little like condors on the top. I'm not an expert with this stuff. Oops, I'm sorry for the filming. I'm obviously watching in real life, not the camera, so. Well, they're running from something. I don't think that was me, because I didn't move. I really enjoyed that. I'd like to know what those are. The weight distribution on this pack is definitely different for sure. Now, since hiking these 5 or 6 miles I've done today already, I've already stopped and adjusted the torso to make it a little smaller, meaning it took like where the straps land on my shoulders, and it took it down 1 notch. I think that's letting the hip belt land more at the top or the middle of the hip belt on my pelvic crest, which I believe is the right fit. But I can feel the weight more pulling backwards, like versus being tugged on, like kind of tucked on my back more, which is not ideal. And I think it's from the brain or the top lid of this pack, like that top component where my bandana is drawing out on now. And yeah, you can see like it's where it's attached. Oh, it's gonna be hard to point, but I can show it better later. But at that kind of part close to my head, they changed that that is different than the talon that I had, and the one that I just replaced my talon with that I returned. They had updated that model. So basically, even if I kept the talon, that black backpack I had, the new one, it was like this too. Whereas the older one I had, the straps, you like pull the straps down more forward. It's hard to explain, but it would basically shift that whole top compartment more like upright. So right now it's kind of sagging back and there's no way to pull it forward more than it already is. And I can really feel that noticeably where I've been trying to like pull it forward and it just doesn't have the mechanisms for that. So I think I get why they made the change. Like it's a more simpler design and less complicated to adjust, but I really enjoyed having the ability to sort of adjust all four kind of corners of where that top compartment sits on the main pack. Whereas now you can really, you can adjust it so it goes higher, but not like forward and back. It's kind of hard to explain, but so only in the two corners in the back end of the pack, which is where it's essentially sagging to. So I just met a nice local named Josh, and he was flagging this for me. So you can see like there's a little, I guess just the top of a tree caught fire, so there's some smoke coming from it. And I guess that's why there's helicopters flying over once in a while just to monitor it. So like there's little things like this. This is the first one I've seen. Obviously it could change pretty quickly if there's strong winds and everything, which is presume why they're monitoring it. But yeah, that's the first one. It's a helicopter through the trees. Every time I pull my phone out to switch to video, it like goes the wrong way. Like I'll slide it from photo to video and it goes to portrait or whatever. It's so annoying. So I wasn't able to capture it in time, but let's see if it pops out again here. It was pretty low, understandably, if it's monitoring that. There it is, yeah. You can see it. Monitoring that fire that I probably just showed you. Some beautiful moss on some of these trees. It's not a great example, but like back there, I thought here, just really nice. Well, a little phrase I've seen on some girls' dating profiles, which I don't really do the online dating thing, but I have at brief periods of my life, namely like during COVID and stuff. But you know, once in a while, I haven't in years, but there were brief periods of time. You make a profile, see what's out there, whatever. I really haven't done it much, but I do remember seeing a few girls' profiles that said, "I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious." I think it's kind of funny, and I would say same with me. And I'm like apprehensive to even say this, but I want to just be reporting how I'm feeling. So my shin, I feel it and it hurts, but I'm almost coming up on like 9.5, 10 miles in the day, and so far it's holding up okay. And like my plantar fascia is a little, they're sore. I feel them, but like so far the new shoes feel okay, but it's really too early to say. Like last time I was happy to have my new shoes and then they were just a total bust. So, but yeah, I just wanted to report in like this many miles in for the last week leading into Ashland, I was in crazy amounts of pain, and now it's like a 2 out of 10. I would say I basically like feel tension and something there, but only when I sort of flinch or react a certain way, kind of abruptly, does it hurt. So I'm trying to just walk delicately and slower. Yeah, which I'm very appreciative and grateful for. I'm just like afraid to even say it because like I'm just always walking and like almost at this point expecting the pain to return. So hopefully it stays good. Well, I just met another Nobo hiker and her partner's up ahead somewhere, so that's good in the sense that I'm not totally alone out here given the whole fire situation. I also talked to another Sobo hiker coming down. He said he didn't have any issues. He did see small ones here and there. However, his buddy who's 50 miles back by Fish Lake said there's like smoke jumpers and stuff. Whatever that is, I have a general idea, but I really don't know exactly what that means. But obviously people fighting the fire, so like doesn't mean the trail's closed or anything. But I'm just gonna have to take this like in real time, keep gathering as much information as I can. I'm not super worried about it, but also I'm not naive. I know how serious things can turn quite quickly with this. So I'm just gonna stay vigilant and slowly, consistently keep walking, chugging along. I'm feeling pretty at peace and calm right now, having left Ashland from a great stay and rehab, and also like the acupuncturist I saw, Jeremy, who was really helpful. He's also like a spiritual coach of sorts and kind of spoke my language regarding that stuff, and it was just kind of like 2 for 1 actually. Like I got acupuncture, but also a really good person to talk to with some of that stuff too, and kind of helped me critically assess why I'm so attached to finishing, because I think over the last 6 or 7 years, as I've been on my own kind of spiritual journey of sorts, I certainly got better at sort of being more present and removing attachment to outcomes. And for some reason I've just been hyper focused because I want to complete this, right? I think that's normal and understandable, but I probably had a level of unhealthy fixation with finishing and kind of tying my own ego to it. So that was actually a really helpful conversation, and also with David where I stayed, had some really good insights, kind of similarly, just like he shared a really good quote with me, which was there's like those motivational posters like winners don't quit and quitters don't win, but like then there were like other ones that would kind of mock those because they're just so cliche, and the one said if you don't quit and you don't win, you're an idiot. Like if you haven't quit before and you haven't won before, you're an idiot, which I think is brilliant. And like the point is, like, I think everyone who kind of got to know me in Ashland was kind of sensing I'm a little too maybe myopically focused on the outcome here, and I've always been one for more the journey is more important than the destination. But I just wanted to, and I still do, I'm absolutely focused on finishing, but like right now I'm actually being a lot more mindful of the speed I'm walking at and taking breaks and kind of stretching my foot out and doing the exercises and all that, versus like just going as fast as I can, knowing that I need to get 30 miles in a day. Like I'm more of the mindset, like I'm gonna be present here, enjoy the ride, and attack what comes up at each time when I confront it and deal with what I gotta deal with, but hopefully be more focused on taking care of my leg and worrying less as to what that means for timing to Canada, at least now. I absolutely still focused on that goal, but I feel a lot healthier about how I'm approaching it right now, and I'm very grateful for the people that helped me kind of feel that way. And who knows, maybe it won't last, but right now I feel pretty good. Like I passed somebody who was taking a nap earlier. I mentioned that noble hiker, and then she passed me, and that's because I'm going a lot slower. But that's okay. Like I would be a little more focused, like looking at my pace on my watch and be like, I gotta pick it up if I'm gonna get X number of miles in and back solving to Canada. And like, that's still the goal, but I feel a lot healthier with how I'm not so attached to that outcome right now. To be clear, I am still absolutely gonna do what I can to make it, but I just feel healthier about how I'm thinking about that right now. We'll see if it lasts. But yeah, I just wanted to say thanks to the people who helped impact me like that, and also just I feel a little refreshed in a sense. I definitely had become too attached from an ego standpoint, I think, of finishing this, even though it's been my goal the whole time. And I, anyways, had my fill, I'd say, in a way, 1,000+ miles ago through hiking. I'm not one to quit something or relent if I've set the goal of doing it. I think that can be healthy, but it can also be, it depends what's driving it. And I definitely got too attached to the outcome of all this. And I think I was aware of that the whole time, but I still couldn't let go of accepting I might not finish. And I still believe I'm somehow going to pull this off, but I think I'm more at peace if I don't right now. And that's allowing me to not feel so antsy to have to pick up the pace, which could potentially be detrimental to the recovery that's still ongoing with my shin. So I'm very appreciative of that. It's like a jacuzzi, and this is not common to have something like this. It's pretty awesome. Well, I'm spoiled here. I have a burrito. Jonah, who I stayed with, was really kind. She said everyone who stays there packs out burritos, and she went and got all the supplies for it, so I could pack out a burrito. It was super thoughtful, and it's a luxury. You know, usually I'm having something like just a tortilla with some salami in it. So having an actual burrito, I've got eggs, bacon in there, cheese, some like coleslaw, and then I've got like hot sauce, and then she also sent me with these avocado packets, like really nice lunch. So it was also really cool because she's a thru hiker too, so I got a really nice perspective from her on just kind of different aspects of thru hiking and the trail. And you know, it's nice when you can kind of talk to someone who's done that stuff too. Like for example, like with this backpack, right? Like I think people who've hiked would understand why I want the water pockets available, but otherwise it might sound a little silly. So, but anyways, I'm gonna enjoy this really nice lunch, take hopefully not a whole hour break, but a little bit shorter, but rest my feet, do my exercises, and then keep walking. But I've already done like 11 miles on the day. I, knock on wood, I'm feeling so pretty good overall. These shoes are feeling great so far. Like my feet are sore right now for sure, but like usually when I'm taking my like halfway point break, they're a little sorer than this. So I think I might, I don't even want to say it's too early, but I'm optimistic these are. Oh, I heard my water's gravity filtering right there. I'm optimistic these are the right, maybe, shoes for me. So yeah, oh no, I think there's a squirrel in the tree. So very excited for this lunch, and I'll catch you on a bit. That was probably the best lunch I've ever had out here. It's gotta be. I've packed out a few times for like dinner, but not lunch. That was just absolutely delicious. I've been doing it all wrong too. With like, I haven't really used my sauces. I got given, Jonah gave me like some Taco Bell sauces that another hiker I think had picked a bunch up of, and like those avocado pack. Like it makes the flavor makes it so much better. I've just been eating kind of more like from a sustenance standpoint. Obviously there's the freeze-dried meals, which are a little fancy, but everything else pretty basic and simple that I've been eating. Wow, I could be eating a lot more delicious out here. That really just opened up my world. All right, I just got back on trail after stopping for lunch, which was so delicious with the burrito. I have done a little over 11 miles, and it's 2 o'clock. I'm feeling pretty good overall. Definitely sore with the new pack and how it's distributing weight and not having hiked in 5.5 days, but I am so grateful with how my shin's feeling right now. Hope it keeps up. I've got an 11-mile water carry, so I'm carrying like 2.25 liters right now. There is one source 7 miles from here, but it's a pond that's pretty stagnant, and most people are saying they all skipped it. It's pretty nasty, and then the water feeding into it is like you can't get it unless you have a scooper, which I don't have. And it just sounds like the consensus is to pass on it. So I'm carrying, there's I think it's called the Hyatt Reservoir. There's like a river or something in a pond too, but in 11.1 miles from where I started or left lunch. So it actually might be a good place to spend the night. Like I don't want to do much more than 22, 23, I think, coming back out of the rehab and everything. So I think I'm just gonna carry it there. There's tent sites right by it and set up for the night. And that's still a lot of mileage ahead of me. I'm only halfway through, but I will be carrying water the whole way. There's another one of these birds. They kind of like move like vultures or something. I really want to know what those are. Slow to the camera again, but there's a whole pack. Like I whip it out, but then it just toggles and gets caught up when I'm trying to get the video out. But there's a bunch of them there again. They just walk so interesting. They kind of walk like how I picture, or how velociraptors are sort of depicted in movies and whatnot. yeah, they look really vulturous, if that's a word. Here's kind of a better view angle of the vulture gang. I don't know for sure if these are vultures. I'm just calling them that right now. These look more like scavengers, like harvesters, than they look more like harvesters than like a scavenger. But today's been so nice because I would guess 80 to 90% so far of these 11 miles has been covered like it is at the moment, which is such a nice relief. There's something about this, that beating sun, peak day, that really can wear you out. So it's been a really nice and noticeable change of pace in that regard. I think the background is really cool, but then these rocks on the hill are kind of interesting. So I just was thinking of reaching out to someone to see if they want to hang out when I'm back in San Diego, and where I live. And I was thinking, well, how long is it going to be? And so then I started looking at the mileage again, everything. Right now, I basically need to do 27 miles a day to get there by October 1st with no breaks whatsoever. Now, that's not totally out of the realm of possibilities. I was doing 25 to 30 miles a day for a while until I got my shin splints, but I'm very apprehensive right now to push it. I mean, definitely these first few days I'm gonna take it easier, but you know, the overuse injuries. So I'm gonna obviously need to take days to like do laundry and shower and probably once in a while a day off just to recover, so, or half a day or whatever. So I don't see any way I do this without going into early October, which is playing with borrowed time, but hopefully the weather will cooperate. But you know, 27 a day, I'm just gonna start getting up earlier, so that way I can go at a slower pace and hopefully avoid injury. Now the problem is I'm gonna be cutting into my sleep time, which means I won't be recovering as well. So I don't know what that trade-off looks like or what's better, but you know, before I was maybe hiking around my feet 10 hours a day, 11 hours a day, but I was doing high 20s in mileage. I'm gonna try to hit that same mileage, but go slower. So I hate to do it. I've made it pretty much the whole trail without touching an alarm on my phone. I absolutely despise alarms, probably some PTSD from working in crazy hours in finance, notably 2.5 years in investment banking, where I was lucky to get more than 2 hours of sleep a night, and I'm not embellishing whatsoever. And just the absolute terror that goes through me when I hear an alarm go off that disrupts me from peaceful slumber. But so I literally, like, this is one of my absolute least favorite things in life. I try to avoid setting alarms and waking up to alarms as much as possible. However, I'm gonna have to do it now. So I'm trying to think through exactly what, but I'm probably gonna start setting alarms for like somewhere definitely before 6 o'clock, and then just hike a little slower, take more breaks, but still hopefully be able to hit that same distance. There was a trash bin here, which is very rare, so I went and dumped the little bit I had because every ounce counts. And I looked back at my pack and it looks really cool. The colors and everything, I like it. It just doesn't feel like me yet. Like, I don't look at that and think that's it's basically part of me, right? I'm like a snail carrying my home on my back. I really liked that black one, but I like this one a lot too. It just doesn't, when I look at it, I like don't recognize it as my own just yet. Hobart Bluff coming up. And there's a trail log. Very excited to see some numbers here. Well, there is no pen in that trail register. Maybe there was and someone took it accidentally or on purpose, but not everyone even signs the registers to start with. I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably, I don't know, probably between 50 and 75% that's signed. Closer to 75 would be my guess, but I really have no basis for that. But I think it's definitely over half. But so now it's just the people who would want to sign it and that carry their own pens. But there was one person that signed in today, and I actually know him. His real name's Oatmeal Tea, but he has a guitar that he had out, if you remember, from probably like 3 weeks ago, something like that. There was a gentleman with a guitar, so that's cool. It'll be cool to see him. You know, nice to know somebody here. Well, there's a little drizzle coming down right now, which is great, given the fire situation. Somehow only gone 2.5 miles basically since lunch. My shin's starting to hurt a little bit. Feels like a lot more. I still got 9 miles to go to get to the next water, well, 8.5 or so, to get to the next water and where I'm gonna camp. I'm just gonna try to take it slow, but it's already 3:45. Sunset's at 7:53, so let's call it 4 hours. You know, a little over 2 miles an hour is not that fast. That should do it, but not ideal. Coming down a little harder now. I'm gonna keep the rain jacket off. But overall, I think this is good given the fire situation. All right, I just passed 2 more Sobos and asked them about the fires. They said nothing, no issues. And I was like, well, is it possible you're ahead of it? And I mentioned Fish Lake specifically, and they said they were there a day ago and there was nothing, just like little spot fires, you know. So I don't know if it's hard when you have all these different opinions you get, but definitely what I'm hearing like from these two is aligned with what I'm seeing when I look at the PCTA closures linked map, which overlays the PCT trail with different active fires and presumably getting the same data that we're like Watch Duty grabs it from. So I'm really not too worried about it anymore at this point. Like I've been kind of on and off, but like based on consensus of data I'm gathering, which is aligned with my assessment, I'm thinking unless some crazy winds pick up overnight and spread some of these out, I don't think it's too much of an issue. The one I am concerned about is near Immigrant, the Immigrant fire, it's up northwest of Crater Lake, and I think it's still a ways from the trail, but I saw last time I checked it was kind of starting to creep in that direction, and that would be a bummer. I'm so looking forward to being back to Crater Lake, so I hope everything's okay there. It is 4:20 on the dot. Not a big weed guy myself, but cheers to all those who are. I have walked 15 miles. And I'm going to stop in 2 miles to take a little rest and break and do my exercises. I'm trying to do that at least these first few days, every 5 to 6 miles, which should be like every 2 to 3 hours. I just want to say I really appreciate the Sobo dynamic with these Sobos passing, because it allows me amazing, direct, recent intel on where I'm headed. And most of the time I don't really need that for much, maybe a water source here and there. But with a situation so fluid as these fires and the weather, it's actually incredibly pertinent and vital and helpful information to have. So it's great just being able to chat up whoever goes by quickly and get an updated data point on whatever I'm wondering about. I have not listened to any music yet today. I've been really kind of, I wouldn't say lost in my own head. I've been having some clarity in some regards and some thoughts on things, and it's good. I'm trying not to let the mind chatter get out of control, but it's been decent like that. It's still drizzling, as you can probably hear. My pack is still feeling weird. The adjustment, definitely notice all the differences, but I think I'll really come to like it. I'm just gonna have to be more mindful of the weight, because this is not made to carry the same weight as the last one. And like I have a lot of heavy food with me, 10 tortillas, a whole jar of Nutella, brick of cheese, like a pound of salami, like that's roughly a pound. Like I just have to be more mindful of some of the weight in here now. I also am carrying 2 liters of water, but I can feel it almost like bending in the middle, and it's like poking my back through the airframe. But I do think, like I said, I'm gonna be happy with this overall. But it wasn't even a decision. Like I needed the water pockets on the side. I'm kind of, I don't want to say upset with myself, but disappointed with myself that I didn't. I mean, I realized it right away when I got the pack, and I thought about it, I noted it, I acknowledged it. But like the fact that I thought I'd be able to hike like that, that was really dumb of me. But thankfully, everyone from who I was staying with to who I got the new pack with to Osprey was super helpful, and I made the right decision. It would have been a mess. Like, I would have gone on trail. I would have been frustrated by now with that, and I would have had to been looking ready for a town I could exit the trail to go to some gear store and get a pack. It would have just been a mess. So I'm really grateful I got that squared away. Don't tell me what to do. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna open this one. That's what I like to see. Straight, relatively flat, not a bunch of rocks. These moments are rare enough where they stand out. But I'll say, with a lot of the documentaries I watched, it made it seem like a lot of it before I prep for this. Like, most of the trail is like this, and it's definitely not. But maybe that's also just my biased memory of it too. You know, I'm for sure most of the things I watched did not portray how hard this is. But me thinking that a lot of the scenes showed sort of like beautiful, flat, easy stuff, that might just be selective memory. But I will say I do welcome these stretches with open arms and open feet. It looks like a duck to me, with the head there and the tail there and the little feet. You even see like a beak and everything. It's like a duck smoking a cigar. I am 17 miles in, or like 17 and a half. I'm taking a 15-minute break, and I'm gonna push through to the end of the day. I am sore, but all in all, really, really pleased and grateful with how it's holding up. I instinctively closed out of the video because I looked and I saw I wasn't looking like a duck anymore, but I was still talking. I'm just laying in a field. I think there's some poison ivy next to me, so I made sure not to put my mat on it, because this is my bed too. If it's hot, I'll sleep without a shirt, so I don't want to get it on this and then get that in my tent. But like the oils. So this is the infamous pond that I carried water for an extra 4.5 miles from here, so I did not have to drink that. Supposedly there's a little stream coming somewhere around these shingles, but it's very hard to collect, so I think that was the right choice based on what I'm seeing. Said differently, I carried a little over a liter, let's just call it a liter, so about 2.5 pounds of extra weight for the last 7 miles. So I didn't need to drink that water. And I think it was worth it. Crikey, we got a live one. Look at all these things. I don't want to scare them. Wow, that is quite a little pack. Are they some kind of turkey? It's like a turkey vulture hybrid. It looks like the trail actually goes to the left here. I just walked across a road, so I might not have to disturb them. Let them walk a little more, and then I'll slowly walk, and it appears I will cut left there. I don't know if you can hear, there's a slight squeak to this backpack already. The fine folks at Mountain Provisions told me the solution is actually put on some baby powder, so if it keeps doing it, I'll grab some and try that. I am about 18.5 miles in. I am just over 3,200 feet in elevation gain, just over 2,600 in elevation descent. I am glad I'm not trying to do any more than I am. I've got about 4 miles left, 3.5, something like that. Because I am definitely sore. It's just probably expected and normal since I haven't hiked in 5 days, and my pack is new, my shoes are new. So I'm not gonna even mention the things I'm feeling. The shin is holding up still. Like, it's definitely a little more tender than it was earlier, but maybe a 3 out of 10. So very grateful for that, but I feel like it wants to rest, as does the rest of my body right now. Was Smoke Jumpers the name of the movie in Entourage that Vinny Chase really wanted to star in that he couldn't get? I feel like it might have been something like that. He was definitely in a firefighter movie. I feel like it was called Smoke Jumpers. Been in forest for a while, but just came out to this break here. It's a pretty nice view. Do see there's kind of smoke in the air, I think, but still nice. I almost stepped on this. It's like a baby praying mantis or something. It's definitely a praying mantis. It's tan. It appears to be shaking. I don't know if that's the wind or it's scared of me. I am gonna definitely gently walk around it, but what a cool sighting. It doesn't seem to want to move. I tried gently touching it with like a piece of straw, very gently. It looks like it's like stuck or something, and I don't want to scare it more or pick it up, but like its head is so cool. It like turned almost like 280 degrees to see me. There we go. Okay. I drew a little line around it because I feel like this thing was just born, because they're usually green, I think. It's like learning to walk or something. I don't know. I'm just making this up on the spot, but I mean, there. I'm glad it's gotten out of the way. I was worried about safety, so I tried to draw some arrows around it and stuff, but okay, good stuff. At least you can hang out there. I said 280 degrees, I think. I meant 270. I was just in my head very quickly. I haven't thought about degrees in a while. Like, I was in my head, like, processing. I'm like, it's not 360, it's not 180, it's 270, but it just came out as 280. So that's what I meant. But his head turned basically like all the way around to behind it. It's pretty cool. Man, I mentioned earlier that sunset is at 7:53. So it appears, since my time rehabbing, which was only 5.5 days off, I have lost like sunset being at 8 p.m. or later. So like, obviously the days have been getting shorter since June 20th or whatever, but this is like, I was used to having like mentally at least till 8, and now I have till 7:53, and it's going to get less and less each day. Less daylight each day means I am going to have to get up early to maximize every minute of daylight. Here's another one of these crazy aggressive insects. I think that's a dead spider, that orange ball, and the legs wrapped around it. And then that black thing was carrying it, like half like on top of it, kind of like flying. It can fly and carrying it. And that sees me, so now I'm like in the way. And I should probably, there we go. Look at that. Wild. Like, I don't know if it killed it or found it. That is like a crazy big spider. I think it killed it, I would guess. Or just found it dead, but that's pretty wild. Like, look at how that thing just pulls it away. So this I don't like to see. These winds is not good. Like, based on the forecast I saw, I wasn't seeing any more, and who knows how abruptly it can change and come, but any more like storms, like lightning. But I presume that can come pretty quickly, and I'm quoting the weather I saw in Ashland. I'm now 20 trail miles away from there, but close enough still where I would imagine it's relevant. But the wind picking up is not ideal for the fires that are ongoing. Oh, this just kind of looks like a prairie, which kind of reminded me of like the Great Plains. Obviously not with the hills and everything, just my somewhat ADD daisy chain of thoughts while I'm out here. And it just reminded me of this guy, Chris, I think I mentioned in the vlog yesterday, but I was getting a quick bite to eat, and I ended up getting 2 bites to eat yesterday while I was out. But this was like a taco stand, and basically we chatted for a while. But he had once he told me he biked across the country, and you'd camp just kind of like I'm doing the PCT, but you'd be biking and you'd be camping. Like, I didn't even know people like there's something official for that. My dad did a lot of biking, did stuff across the state of Illinois, where you'd bike from like the border of Wisconsin to the border of Kentucky or something like that. But I didn't know people go east to west or west to east across the country. It's pretty cool to think about. Very similar to the PCT, just on a bike. I definitely want to look more into that. I've never been a huge biker, but I don't know. It's kind of sounded appealing to me, even though I'm having, not having the most joyful time out here overall. Obviously, there's very enjoyable moments. I love meeting good people and seeing these beautiful towns and some of the beautiful nature scenery and animal sightings, and there's absolutely a lot of positive out here. But when I'm plagued with injuries and it's just the monotony of this day 115 out here, like it really starts to wear you. And this is as much a mental thing as physical, but at some point your body's got to hold up, but I'm kind of getting on a tangent here, but it did sort of pique my interest just hearing about it a little bit. And then I just saw this and it got me thinking about, because this is unique topography in general for what I've seen, kind of open field plains, but then kind of next to and going in like on the side of a hill or mountain here. And anyways, the series of thoughts that led to what I just explained. So yeah, I just want to mention, I guess that's a thing out there. I forgot what it was called. I'm sure you can Google it, but pretty interesting to think about doing that too. Just heard a tree squeak, and then I saw this one was moving in the wind a lot more than the ones around it. So I stopped to try to identify which one it is. Maybe it's smarter just to keep walking by really fast. Hopefully you could hear that. Just did it again. It might be that one right there. It looks dead. My heart is racing right now. There are a few things that have startled me on this journey, but I walked past the first one. I'm walking again, and I just hear this loud, squeaky sound, like a tree's about to fall. And that is a very unsettling realization, because, yep, there it is. You just don't have much time to react. Okay, I'm going to metaphorically tiptoe past this one. I think I'm past the danger zone, like the blast radius, if you will. And I also have a plan. If I did hear it falling, I would just get immediately behind one of these trees on the other side as quickly as I could. But I think it might be two. I don't know. No. I mean, there's quite the swaying going on up there, but I think that's normal even for healthy trees. I mean, it is normal. But this just seems like more than I've observed on other trees. But okay. I'm not going to sit here and watch all day. It's probably very unlikely one falls, but I mean, that thing's going down eventually. I'll tell you one thing. I am going to be sore tomorrow. I think I'm hopeful, and based on the first day, that these new shoes are going to work out fantastic. I might have found what works for me, but that is a very premature statement, and I'm very aware of that. But with that, still though, they're just new. Oh, there's a baby deer. Hello. Which usually means the mom is close by. Oh, I don't want to separate them, it looks like. Okay. But still, even with the new shoes, it's going to, it's just, they're zero drop, and they're allegedly a very similar, same footprint to the Lone Peaks, which is what I've worn 3 out of the other 4 pairs I've had on trail, but they have more cushioning and they're just different a little bit. So there's definitely still going to be some soreness related to them, if not in my feet, which it's very likely, then elsewhere, because I've been feeling some stuff elsewhere. And then it took like a 10-minute break just now with 2 miles left because some things were hurting and I just wanted to be prudent and rest. And my lower back, upper butt is already sore from this backpack. So it's hitting a different part of my hips, the way that it just carries in the frame, and it's going to be sore. And that's not a fun growing pains to go through, is like when it tears up your hips and your lower back and everything. So I think I may actually take the torso even up one more, so it's one more notch. But since I only have less than 2 miles left, I just decided to keep going. I'll do that tomorrow morning. But yeah, I'm going to be pretty sore tomorrow. We'll see what the right move is regarding that. Shin is a little sore, but I'm so pleased overall, so grateful for how it's holding up. I'd say it's still like a 2 or 3 out of 10 right now. Oh, also wanted to mention, this is probably gonna be a long video, Dave, that's okay. One of the Sobos I talked to was carrying bear spray. It's the first person I've seen the whole trail doing that. That's a PCT hiker. Wow, there are deer everywhere in here, and they once again have no fear of me. Just took out my water bottle to drink. It was super loud. Deer's just looking at me, chewing on some leaves or whatever. Here, it's not the one I was referring to, but there's another one right there. The one I was referring to is in there somewhere. Yeah, and I would wager he'll ditch that by the time he gets to the Sierras. It's definitely overkill and not needed, but it's interesting to see someone with that. And I say interesting because, like, on the other hand, technically, grizzly territory is extended just into like the brief northern Cascades, but like I think only one's been seen there in like, I don't know how long it was, 5 to 10 years or something. So like I would want it if I was in grizzly country for sure. But with black bears, nah. I've heard enough stories, I've seen enough. I've had 3 experiences myself where I don't think that's needed. That's what pretty much everyone says. But it got me thinking about being way up north. Hopefully if I make it there, possibly you could argue it makes more sense to have it there than anywhere else on trail. But still, I don't think it's needed, but probably a nice peace of mind. What got me thinking about this, aside from the fact that I saw that guy earlier, I kind of forgot, is these deer. I was like, wow. I mean, the problem is if a bear gets this comfortable around people, right? So that's what got me thinking about that. Just looks cool to see the deer prancing deep away in the meadows there behind that bush right now. Let's see if they come out. I am on a 9x zoom, which is hard to do because you need 2 hands, and I'm just kind of learning that it's even an option. But I mean, I knew you could zoom in more than the 3, but yeah, I think it looks cool, just the deer in the fields. Oh, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What? I've never seen this many hanging out. There's more even coming. Huh. They're a little dorky, but they're also super cool colors. So I will say I've got 1 mile left to water, and then like a 1/10 of a mile after that to where I'm planning to camp. My body is begging me to stop, so I'm just taking it slow. But sunset's in like, I don't know, probably half an hour or so. So I'm kind of close, but I'll still be light at dusk. Twilight hour is upon us. And I am ready to be done with this day. And it's been a really great day overall. I'm so blessed and grateful for how the shin held up. I could have gone either way. I hope it stays that way. I'm going to keep trying to take proper care of it by doing my exercises every couple hours and walking slower and smaller steps at times and all of that. But at some point I'm going to have to really pick up the mileage again, or this just isn't going to work. But I will say, happy for how this day turned out. I left Jonah and David's home this morning, got a ride. Was really appreciative of that after making a really great breakfast and a burrito to pack out, and then just had a really good day overall. But yeah, it did hit me earlier, like the monotony came back real quick. Like, definitely had some nice moments today, but it's like, oh, like, you know, all you do, which I like knowing what I'm doing, waking up with purpose and all of that. But after 115 days out here, knowing I've still got 40 more ahead of me, assuming no injuries, I'm gonna have to do 27 to 30 miles a day, basically, minimum. And that's all I do: sleep, eat, wake, and walk all day. I can do it though. I can do it. If there's anything more than, 35 to 40 days, I think it might be hard psychologically, but I can basically deal with anything for a certain amount of time. And I'm not saying this is so bad at all. Like, I know I'm gonna look back on it. I've done a lot of thinking today, and if I end up taking like a quote unquote boring matrix corporate job because I'm almost out of money and I need income and whatever, I know I'll be looking back at this really missing it. It's type 2 fun. I learned that term on trail. It sucks while you're doing it, but it's really fun looking back to know you did it. Type 2 fun. I've heard that from like 3 or 4 distinct people on this trail. I never heard the term until I did this, so not the only one having that experience. It's kind of the understanding from most of the majority out here. Type 2 fun. But all that said, got a lot ahead of me still, and that just kind of that realization was really settling into me earlier today. So I can do it. 40 days of anything is doable. So wish me luck. Thanks for being along on the ride for this journey with me. I really realize these episodes are long. I was reflecting. There are basically 4 or 5 people I asked explicitly if they wanted, like, how, because I knew they were going to want to have questions about the journey, and if they wanted me to vlog it, if they'd follow along. And I know my dad is watching every single episode. The other 3 seem to just catch a few here and there, which I understand. They got jobs and everything, but I am grateful for those other people who've picked up interest. Like, I pretty much was doing it for a handful of other people that I mentioned, plus many others that were interested. Not just those 4 or 5, but those were the 4 or 5 main ones early on. But I will say, I know there's been really good interest from my aunts and uncles and some cousins, and also many people I've met on trail. So I'm very appreciative of who's ever kind of been along for this journey with me. I hope in a way you kind of feel like you know me or you've been here, because I really just am saying what's ever on my mind or how I'm feeling. So I hope it's been a good worthwhile investment of your time, and I appreciate it. And another reason I wanted to keep doing this, aside from the fact that I knew it was bringing joy to many people close to me in my life who might be working more than matrixy jobs right now, is for other PCT hikers, like people considering doing this in the future. I did not find anything that I found, and I didn't scour that hard, but I did consume and watch a good amount of documentaries and some daily vlogs, and they definitely were editing out the hardships overall. And and there's nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't really give a great, inherently wrong with it, but it doesn't give a great portrayal if you're trying to get out of watching and consuming that, what it's actually like out here. So I'm hopeful somebody, maybe 4 or 5 months from when I'm recording this, or 3 months, because wow, yeah, permits will open up in a few months here for 2026, or years later, who's considering doing this, that this has been helpful to you. Got 15 minutes till sunset, and it's pretty dark in this forest. I've got about a quarter of a mile to get to the water, and then basically my tent site as well. So timing worked out pretty well, but it's a little extra dark for this time of day because I am in here. I've reached the water and look at this. That must be the dam as well, which is what I was trying to camp by. So a Hyatt dam or something, but pretty cool to see it come down. It has a very fishy smell here, more than I've smelled on trail before. But this has got to be better than that pond water. So I'm gonna fill up here, go just across the way and find some tent sites over there. Call it a day, a day of gratitude. Okay, this is the Little Hyatt Reservoir Outlet. Hyatt Lake, I will go by tomorrow. I'm not going to do the little side quest there. I chose to send food further to Crater Lake, so I didn't waste time going off trail. But this is the Little Hyatt Reservoir Outlet. It's coming from the Hyatt Lake. I was planning to camp just over this bridge, like 1/10 of a mile. There's some tent sites listed. And I checked the comments in Far Out real quick, and it talks about like there's a house close by, like a trailer, and like the guy just will come down and talk to you. And some people say it's very uncomfortable and awkward, harmless, but like, so I might try to post up here by the water. There's a campground in 1.5 miles, but I don't want to go off trail for it, and it's my body's done. So given what I read, I don't want the interactions right now. So I think I'm gonna try to set up here. I think I can make it work. It's like somebody cowboy camped here versus a tent, but. Okay, per some comments of some very helpful people. I'm so appreciative of people that actually take time to share important information on Far Out. I learned about this little side trail from there, and apparently there's gonna be some good camping spots up here. There's this little reservoir. I think up here maybe, so I'm gonna climb up and check. All right, I scoped it out, and I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be a heck of a climb up with this heavy pack, but I think it's gonna be worthwhile. I might have briefly startled a couple on a date from Ashland. They seemed super nice. We chatted for like a minute, but they're just sitting right there, which is cool and unexpected. Like I came over the ridge and there's 2 people in the chair, so it's a really nice date spot. But yeah, I'm gonna go for this. So fill up the water, get up there, and probably take one more video, and then that'll be the end of day 115. So this is the Little Hyatt Reservoir Outlet, and it's gonna be home for the night. It's the end of day 115. I will see you all tomorrow. Well, I'm shocked, but it looks like there's another tent where I'm going, so I guess that's good. Have some company, but surprised for sure.